listening to Thrive with Jay Grayce with your host, Jay Grayce. Jay, take it away.
Thank you, Mark. Hi, everyone. I hope wherever you are, you're nice and warm and comfortable. I know that the East Coast is having a storm. What a perfect time to hang out with me. Very, very excited that we have with us our very own Sue Broome. And Sue Broome, for those who may not know who she is, you should know. She is a host here on Thrive Talk Network. She's an author, an angel card reader, and of course the host of Angel Talk with Sue. Welcome to the show.
Woohoo! I'm here, thank you.
It is so nice to have you. I mean, last week you had me on your show, which was a great experience, and I thank you again for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
And now we switched the chairs. Now you're on my show. And I think it's a great opportunity for those who haven't had a chance to listen to Sue's show, which is one of the best and popular shows that we have here on Thrive Talk Network. She also does the Meditating with the Angels, right?
Yes.
And It's in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's a big hit. I know that a lot of people enjoy it, including myself. I do not wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to listen to it, Sue. I'm not going to lie to you. But I do get an opportunity to listen to it at my leisure, which I do enjoy. So I thank you for doing that. And the meditations go along with Diane Garris cards, right? And music?
Yes.
Good.
It's her cards, but it's not her music.
Okay.
But they are, they've been a lot of fun, and I've had an opportunity to listen to them. You know, of course, when I'm channeling the message, there's no music, so I'm just, going away and seeing what comes up, and I can't wait till next week, because when I was done today, I'm like, wow, that was so awesome. I mean, there are things that I didn't even know where I was going.
And that's wonderful, because I've had the pleasure when we're doing some of these meditations, just listening in the background. And what I enjoy about it is, first of all, your voice is very calming and relaxing and grounding. Mm-hmm. And I can sense almost like the energy going through you. It's almost like, I think I've asked you this before, what is it that you're experiencing when you're doing it? Because it seems like you're somewhere, but you're there, but you're not there. It's very interesting to me. So can you share your process?
It's so funny, because I've had people ask me, well, do you have the card all planned out ahead of time? And it's like, no. I wait until Mark and I are on the phone, and it's like, okay, Mark, I'm shuffling the cards. Let's see what's going to come up. And I pull a card, and usually from the time I pull the card until we actually start, there might be 2 minutes. And I just kind of go in, and I actually don't even close my eyes, because I can get there whether my eyes are open or closed. And I just go where I'm guided. Yeah.
And I know that from with Angel Talk with Sue, if someone asks you a question, you select a card, and some of these cards, it's like an ongoing thing throughout the show. It's weird. No matter how many times you shuffle them, they'll come out again and again, and you yourself are baffled by it. You're like, how many times have they shuffled this, and still this is the card that comes out?
Yeah, because there was actually, I don't remember if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, there was 2 different callers had 2 out of the 3 cards were the same cards.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, and it's very interesting to me. Now, let's talk about angel cards. How did you get into that?
Boy, this is, back when I first started, so it was probably about 2000. There was the only cards that there were that I knew about before that were tarot cards. And I had, I never had a bad experience or anything with tarot cards. However, other than my ex-husband, he was the bad experience with them. So once I got divorced,
Right.
they were just starting to come out with angel cards. And it's like, well, what can be wrong with angel cards? You know, everybody loves angels. So I got a couple of, well, I think at that time there weren't very many decks. So I got a deck of those cards and started doing just readings for myself, as well as at that time I was learning about angels. And Doreen Virtue was absolutely one of the people that I followed, and I listened to a lot of her things, or read her books at that time, and then listened to her podcasts. And then I just started doing them for friends, you know, and as more decks of cards would come out, I'd, of course, have to get them. And then they came really easily to me, you know, pulling cards. And there's one deck of cards, I call it the smoking hot fairy cards, because they are so accurate.
Really?
Yeah. They're hilarious, actually. But
And
yeah, so I just started working with them, and that's where it all went from there.
now, is that something that, let me ask you a question. Do you have to be intuitive or quote unquote psychic to interpret angel cards?
You know, I don't think that you do, but everybody is intuitive, whether they realize it or not. You know, because, yeah, you can look at the card and you can look at the picture and see what's coming up and just only focus on that and not allow anything else to come through. But then I think you're kind of doing a disservice, because there's times when I will pull a card and it's like, okay, well, this is what the card shows, but that's totally not what I'm getting for you.
Right.
And there may be some aspect of the card that's coming through, but, you know, for the most part, I'm getting something totally different. And then I have to go with that, because that's why they're coming to me. They want to hear what I have to say.
Sure, of course. Now, let's go back, shall we? Because I know. Back when you weren't doing angel card readings and you were more in the corporate world, right?
Yep.
And during that time, did you ever think that you would be in this place that you are right now?
No. You know, there's no way. I mean, because I started when I was 17 years old in corporate. And I was there for over 30 years.
Wow.
And for many, many, many of those years, I absolutely loved what I was doing. That's why when I am standing up in front of a room full of people, I have no fear, because that's what I used to do in corporate America. There was so much that I loved, and I can see so much of that coming into my life with what I do now. But could I see that I would leave and come cross country by myself, not knowing anybody? No.
Right.
Never would have imagined that.
Wow. And, you know, I asked that question because, you know, a lot of people like yourself, and including myself as well, have issues with their career, or they're not happy with what they're doing. And I always personally think that whatever you're doing that you don't like might be teaching you something that later on will help you with what you really are good at and enjoy. And I think it's a training of a sort. For me, it worked out that way, and it sounds like it did for you. So my question to you is, when did you decide to make that transition? And did something huge occur, or was it a natural progression?
Well, there were starting to get to be more and more things that I just didn't agree with. Even in my office, I used to have several, one big angel picture, and I had tons of crystals. I mean, I had so many crystals when I brought them home, it's like, where am I going to put all these crystals? You know? So, because I had spiritually come out of the closet at American Family.
Right.
But one of the things, and it was starting to get bad, but it was still bearable. I actually asked Tammy, that's going to be on my show next week. I measured the space above my doorway in my office, and I said, "Okay, Tammy, this is the size that I have. I'd like you to create a piece of art that is going to help me transition out of here."
Wow.
And I still have that, obviously. It's absolutely beautiful. I have it above my bed now, but it was above my door. And I feel that that helped because it had the energy of the energy work that I do. Also, it had that in the painting, as well as it was a direct message from the divine. So it helped me transition out of the corporate world. And, one of my biggest lessons that I talk about and I counsel with people on is gratitude.
Yes.
That was one of the things that got me out of the hole that I felt like I was in.
I can certainly relate to that, and I know a lot of people who are listening can as well. And there are people who ask me in previous shows, well, you talk about appreciation and gratitude even when things don't seem really great. And it's hard to get there. What steps, how do you get into that space of gratitude when things are going really crusty?
I used to ask myself that a lot when I would be sitting in these meetings and, there might have been 15, 20 people sitting there. All keep in mind, I was a manager in the IT division, so it was about as far away from this as you can be.
Yeah.
And sometimes the things that I had to be grateful for was the great cup of coffee that I had in my hand, for the clearing that the angels were doing to keep the energy of the room clear for me. You have to find whatever makes sense for you at that moment. And it may be that you're able to take a breath. Or it may be that, oh my gosh, I can see outside and there's that one little tiny flower that I can focus on right now.
Yes. Or like I used to do, look at the time and say, in 10 minutes, we will have a lunch break.
Yep.
Whatever gets you there.
Yep, whatever gets you there is right.
But I also wanted to ask you, how were you always spiritual? Is this something that you were born, or what got you to this point? Because a lot of people usually, unfortunately, they have a lot of trauma and their spiritual world starts to awaken. What was your process?
That's a really good question because, people say, well, could you see angels when you were a kid? It's like, no. I still can't see angels, but in my head I can.
Right.
If you could see what I see inside my head. But when I was a kid, we went to, my dad was Catholic, my mom was Lutheran. And I went to Catholic school, up until I was in 8th grade. I don't remember talking about angels. I don't remember seeing angels or, seeing fairies or seeing loved ones or talking about loved ones other than going to funerals. I don't remember any of that. And I really feel that once I got divorced, I was 40 years old, had just bought a house. First time, no, it wasn't the first time that I was living by myself, but it was the first time that I owned a house by myself. And I was just seeking. I was reading a lot of books on angels and reincarnation and past lives, and just I was curious about all spirituality. I was curious about, intuition. What is that? Do I have that? Because I never felt like I had that. Oh, I can't see things and I can't hear things, and so I just started exploring, and it gradually turned into other things where I started receiving Reiki from someone, and then I got attuned to Reiki, and then I got attuned to divine coding, and it just kind of kept going from there because the learning never stops.
Right. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I asked that because a lot of people, think that, again, about intuition and energy work, the kind of work that you do, and I went to your wonderful website, empowermentforyou.com, where anyone, if you want to know more about Sue, you can go there directly and find out more about her. You've written a book, and you're also part of, what is the prayer book from the angels, 365.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
So, from I'm exploring and just trying to figure out that I'm intuitive to deciding, what I'm doing is not just helping me, but I can help others. How did you come to that conclusion?
I think some of that, it kind of spilled over from when I was in corporate world doing the classes. It's like, oh, I have something that other people are interested in hearing about.
Mm-hmm.
If you have enough people asking the same question, because if when I do a fair, like when I do an expo or a fair and I do, 10 readings in a day, there's always going to be a theme that comes out. Well, if it's the theme in this fair, there's always some kind of a theme that comes out. And the book that I wrote, Signs from Your Loved Ones, actually came, I was going to do a class. Mm-hmm. And I had nobody show up for the class. I had rented the room. I had done all of this work. I had paid for the room, and I had nobody show. And it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? You wanted me to pull this information together. What am I supposed to do with it now?
Right.
Because I really felt I was on the right track.
Sure.
And it's like, no, it's supposed to be bigger than that, because it's not just supposed to be a little local class. It's supposed to be much bigger than that. And that's how the book came to be.
Wonderful.
Is sharing the word and sharing with so many more people than just the class that could have happened locally here in Prescott Valley.
Right. And with the book, you're reaching out worldwide. You have the capacity of doing that and helping others all over the world. And, it's funny that you mentioned the theme. Sometimes I take a minute or two just to think inside my head. And the word dream big, the term dream big or think big comes out. And I'm like, I don't know what's that about, but okay, I hear you. So when you were talking about that right now, it's sort of like what you experienced, where you were just like, oh, I have something to share. I'll just do a little class and gather people. And really what the angels in the universe is telling you, you got to think bigger than that. Mm-hmm. And so how long did it take you to write that book? Signs from Your Loved Ones.
Because I had so much of it written for the class, it didn't take me very long.
I love it.
Really, because what I started pulling together that I hadn't really thought about is pulling some of my journal entries, because some of the things in the book are right out of either journal entries I had done or channel writings that I had done with my mom or my dad. So pulling those into and incorporating them into the book, Signs from Your Loved Ones. So, it's so funny because our loved ones are right there. It's like they're right in front of us. They're right beside us. They're right here. We just don't know how to communicate with them anymore when we think they're, way over there someplace else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And can you share, if you don't mind, an experience that you had of your own with a loved one or that said, I know they're here, they're next to me?
Oh, here's a great one. This one just happened last year. Mm-hmm. Last year, I was coming home from Prescott to Prescott Valley. So I'm on Highway 69, which there's tons of stoplights. And I was on the phone with my brother, one of my brothers, and he was wishing me a happy birthday. And in one car beside me on one side, it had 614 in the license plate, and on my the clock in my car, it was 642. Well, my mom's birthday is 6/14/1942.
Oh, wow.
And how I see her is either 614 or 642. And I said to my brother, I said, so don't you think she's here with us?
Now, that's a great segue. How does your family feel about the work that you do? Are they open to it, receptive to it?
Oh, some are, and keeping in mind that I'm way on the other side of the United States.
Right, right.
But, some do, and I'll tell them, it's like, that Grandpa Broome helps you with that, right? And, yeah, my brother will go, oh, yeah, okay. But I actually just got an email, I just read it today, from my cousin who just read the book, and she said that, and she was very close with my mom, and she said that it really is giving her a different way of thinking about things, a different way of looking at things where, she hadn't really thought about it before. Right. She had, which a lot of people don't. And that's why the book came out. And it wasn't me. It was my loved ones. It was as in everybody out there, your loved ones saying, we want you to get this information out there because it's going to be a way that we can communicate.
Right, right. It's like you said, they're there. They're all around us. They're just waiting for us to acknowledge it. They're there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally and absolutely agree with that. Mark, do we have any questions or anything?
You have a comment.
A comment? Oh, okay.
Not for you.
I know.
I'm very sorry. It is for Sue.
Terrific. Let me move the mic so you can...
Sue, this is an old friend of yours that you're going to remember, and it's quite a story. Let's see.
He's scrolling for those who are...
I'm sorry.
He's scrolling now.
I lost it. I'm sorry, I lost it, but there is a question. Hello, Sue. I have a question. My husband and I got some bad news. The doctor told us that he has to get a triple bypass. I'm being strong for him, but is he going to be okay?
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay. First off, put your belief in everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out. And then take a deep breath. So, what I feel will be an awesome thing for both you and your husband to do, and this pertains to anybody that's listening, is put your attention, put your focus on what it is that you can do. You're finding out information from, the doctor, the internet, wherever you're going to find out information. But focus on the positive things. Yes, you have to do the day-to-day, the physicalness that we live here on Earth. But focus on the positive things. And when you start worrying about it, ask the angels, ask the divine to take those worries and just allow them to be transmuted to love. I would definitely call on Archangel Raphael. He's the main healing guy. Call on him to be with your husband and with all of the family. And if you listen to the show that I did this week about clearing your energy, that would be a phenomenal thing. Just like I did with my friend that was in the hospital this week, call on the angels to help clear the hospital room as well as clear the room where they're going to have the surgery. But the biggest thing, just like Grayce and I were talking about, is appreciation, gratitude, and focusing on the positive. So there you have it.
Thank you so much for for putting your question out there, and we are prayers and positive energy to you and your family.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I'm sorry. I thought it was. We got a message from Unwanted Roomy.
That was from. Now you guys just cut out a little bit, so I can't tell if I'm still on or not. The unwanted roommate was, that was this week. Yeah, and I can't hear you guys at all anymore. Oh, there you are.
Okay, good. Yay.
Someone hit the mute button on the mic.
Oh, no.
I know.
No, the unwanted roommate, that was from last show.
That's
yes,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I wanted to talk about a little bit about the book that you're part of, which is 365 Days of Angel Prayers. How did that come about?
Yes. I answered an ad, basically. But I love being a part of that. And we actually, now it's been out there, so 365 Days of Angel Prayers is basically a conglomerate of 300, I don't think there's quite 365 people, but say 300 people plus that came up with an angel prayer within the specifications that they had, whatever those were, I can't even remember, but they asked if you wanted to pick a day, you could. I didn't. I just said, okay, I'm going to just allow it to be what it is, which happened to be, if you remember back to my first angel talk with Sue, November 7th, what happened to be my angel prayer in the book. And so I read it on the show. So I thought that was really cool.
Yes, that's right. Now I do remember. Oh,
Yep.
Wonderful. And I love those type of books. I remember Doreen Virtue wrote a book, sort of like 365 Days. You just pick the day and it has a prayer and a mantra and an affirmation. And I love those. I mean, I think I have mine. It's like 8 years old and I still use it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So where could anyone, if they wanted to purchase any of these books, can get it?
Amazon, good old Amazon. You can get both books on Amazon. And actually, 365 Days of Angel Prayers, that one is coming out with a new look. So the current look is only available for not too much longer because we have a new spokesperson that's now taken over, Sunny Dawn Johnston here in Arizona. She's taken it over. So it's going to have a whole new look. So if you like the look of it now, now's the time to get it. The other thing, I mean, she's got a lot of exciting plans coming with it, which I'm really excited about. And one of the things that they're looking into translating it into Spanish.
Ooh, nice.
I know. I think that's pretty cool. So, yeah. So.
And Signs from Your Loved Ones as well as in Amazon as well, right?
Yep, that's on Amazon, and you can either get it paper or you can get it Kindle. And also, now I did an angel talk with Sue on Signs from Your Loved Ones. So if you go back to the archives on Thrive Talk Network's YouTube, one of the shows I did was very specifically on signs from your loved ones. So we talked a lot about different messages and signs that are coming up. So
wonderful. Yeah, check that out. Because I know I get a lot of people who are always wondering about, someone they loved passed away, and they're like, are they really around? Am I just, I talk to them, am I wasting my time? Am I crazy? But I personally don't believe that. I think they do. I know they do. So I think it's a wonderful way for people to still feel connected to their loved ones. And they have a lot of wisdom to share with us too. Sometimes we forget.
Yeah, we do. Sometimes we absolutely do forget. And if they were good at something, when they were here in the living and you're going through a difficult situation with what they were good at, well, call on them for help. Ask them for assistance. Because they're excited that you're aware that they're around and excited to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I'm looking at your website right now, empowermentforyou.com. What made you choose that name? I'm just curious.
Well, one of the things, and it doesn't matter whether you're getting a reading from me or if you are getting a healing session or if I'm doing a class, it doesn't matter. And even the Angel Talk with Sue, you walk away with information that you didn't have before. And I like to give you tools so you don't have to keep calling Sue, well, what was it that you did? Or Sue, you have to do this. So it's like, no, Grayce, I'm teaching you how to do it so you can do it yourself next time.
Right. Which is so important. Yeah, absolutely. It is. I think that's one of the biggest gifts that we can give someone is the ability to tap into their own intuition, their own gifts and their strengths, and be able to utilize it to their best interest, and then to be able to help someone else do the same for themselves. I always believe, which is huge.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, I was part of the Jumpstart Your Healing Journey, and I did a 90-minute talk, and it was on angels. And a few days later, I had someone tell me, it's like, oh my gosh, I so much enjoyed learning more about the angels, and I've been calling on them every day, and I feel like they're a lot closer now.
That's wonderful.
That's right, because it's like, they could call on the angels. It doesn't have to be me.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, because I can imagine, I mean, I've spoken to other people and interviewed other people who do your type of work, and there might be a few people who get addicted, or I'm not using the term properly, but might get more clingy and think that you have to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
and that's not really helping anyone. I don't think so. So I think it's great that you're doing that and just saying, no, these are the tools, you can do it yourself. And we have something going on here. Okay, hold on for a second. Go ahead.
All right, Sue. This is from Tammy. And hi, Sue. I love your show. I'm a huge follower of the angels. I am presently learning Enochian. Enochian?
Oh, Enochian.
Okay. In your opinion, can you invoke the angels' powers with Enochian symbols, or is this something that might make them mad?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. And, blend them all together. I think the Enochians, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, they have such loving energy right along with the angels and their loving energy. So I would blend it all together and work with them together, because they're each, it's just like any kind of specialist you're going to go to. Each one has their specialty. So if you're calling on the Enochians and you're calling on the archangels, they each have their specialty. So, hey, we can use all the help we can get. They're not going to get angry with each other. So that's a great question, Tammy. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Because I thought about that myself. I'm like, you read certain things online, and I love the internet, but you can get into some scary stuff. Like, do not ask, speak to any kind of angels whatsoever, or else. And,
right.
And it's pretty scary. And I also wanted to ask you, because in your readings, like you said before, you use your intuition. And you mentioned energy work. Is there any specific energy work that you do with your clients? What exactly do you do?
I do such a blend. And actually, I started with Reiki. I am a Reiki master. I'm actually a divine coding Reiki master, which is a little bit different, because divine coding is another form of energy work that I do. And the person that originated divine coding, she's going to be my guest next Monday on Angel Talk with Sue. Yeah, and her name happens to be Tammy.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, yeah. So there's, what else do I do? Oh, I've worked with, so I'm an angel therapy practitioner with Doreen Virtue. And I've also worked with Sandra Ann Taylor, so I kind of have a blend of her stuff. And I also was awakened to my own energy, which I call the bridge energy, which is kind of a bridge between worlds and a bridge between energies. And I also recently started working with Syrian blue energy, which is from the planet Sirius. And that's just a lot of fun. So when I am working with someone, I am doing such a blend of all of them. And I get myself and my ego out of the way and I listen to the guidance. And if I'm doing like the workshop that I did a few weeks ago, at the very end we did a meditation, and it was basically a group healing that I did. And I've gotten myself out of the way, so if my hands are moving and doing crazy things, I don't care.
Right.
I just allow whatever's going to come through what's right for that person at that particular time. That's what comes through.
That's wonderful. It must be very gratifying, the work that you do, I would imagine.
It is. And what's really been amazing to me, and I really have to thank Mark for bringing this to me, the Meditate with the Angels. Yes, I do a mini meditation at the end of each angel talk, which I'm really glad that I've been able to do that and had time to do that. But I'll tell you, these Meditate with the Angels, I can feel. I mean, today when we were recording for next week, honest to gosh, Mark, I was waiting to see what was going to happen next. And I'm like, okay, where are we going? Because, I just have to get myself out of the way. But they're called meditations, but you can feel the energy and the healing that is happening with them, with each and every one of them.
You really can. And I mean, it's funny when, because I listened to it
Let me get you closer so you can hear you.
I listened to it about maybe 8 or 9 times during the editing and putting in the music and everything. And every time I listen to it, I just get that much more and more peaceful. It is a pleasure to work on.
And it really is, because I usually say, let's do it. Let's listen to the one of Sue's meditations at night.
She always wants to listen to the one that hasn't been posted yet.
Yeah, that's right. I get perks. Come on. So, and he's like, okay, but I already listened to it. I said, so do you listen to it? Listen to it. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, but every time he does it, he tells me I get different layers of it. So, it's amazing, because you might listen to it once and you go, that's all I need. I don't need to listen to it again. But honestly, it's one of those things that you can go back to. And like you said, because of the energy that you feel, it's really powerful stuff. So anyone that's listening, if you haven't, please go to our YouTube, Thrive Talk Network YouTube, and just check it out, because I think you will not be sorry. Especially nowadays, where even if you go onto your social media network, there's always some kind of weird energy and tension. I know I feel that way, and I have a lot of clients that email me and say, listen, I can't even go to my social media network anymore without feeling stressed out.
Yeah.
This is a great, great way of doing it. It's 15 minutes tops, so it's not taking a lot of time of your life.
Yeah.
I know we're very busy, and it helps. It really does keep you centered and grounded, and allows you to go on with your day.
Yeah. And really next week, I can't wait till it's out. I mean, because I
haven't heard it, so now I'm curious.
Oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, just kind of, but that is the key, because I'm not sitting here bragging. That's just not who I am. That is me truly getting myself out of the way and allowing the divine to come through and work through me, because I'm on the edge of my seat just like anybody else listening.
But you know what? That's why it's so good. It's truly, truly authentic.
Right, right, exactly. And, I have to tell you that you have helped us, Mark and I, with your meditations.
That's cool.
Yeah, we absolutely do it and use it. So if we're telling you to listen to it, we really honestly mean it, because we use it ourselves and it helps us. And it's one of those things that I would say, if you can take 15 minutes, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just it only takes 15 minutes. You know how I tell people, take 15 minutes and walk. If you can't exercise, just walk 15 minutes. It helps your body. It helps you ground.
Absolutely.
Put it on, put your music, your earbuds or whatever, and just go and walk 15 minutes. Well, I don't know if you should do that while you're meditating. But it might be dangerous. But find that 15 minutes for yourself. It really makes a difference. And we've had the pleasure of having Sue on our network for how many months now? It's going to be 4 months,
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. We've had a great experience with you. We enjoy what you do, and it shows that you enjoy what you're doing, which is the most important thing. You're always, when it's a Monday and we contact you, you're like, yay, we're ready, I'm excited. And such great energy, which we absolutely adore. And it's contagious. I love that. And what's in store for you? I mean, you do this wonderful radio show, which I am so happy that you're part of our network. Do you plan to write another book? What do you plan to do?
Well, there's a couple of different books, and one of them I've actually had a lot of it written for a while, and it keeps getting put back on the shelf, and then it comes out. And I think that's going to come out a little bit differently. It might come out more as a workbook rather than just a reading book.
I like those.
Yeah, or it might come out with, like a workbook along with some webinar kind of things. Of course, with meditations.
Yes, good.
Meditations are always part of it. Doesn't matter what kind of class I do; they're always part of it.
And I think that that's one of your many gifts, but I think it's really, really what you shine at. It just comes out natural, like you said. You get yourself out of your ego, and it's just pure. Don't stop doing that, please.
Nope, I won't. Can I read you something that's a friend of mine I had posted? Whenever the Meditate with the Angels comes out, or the Angel Talk with the Angel Talk with Sue, whenever the replays come out of any of them, I post them all over. And I had posted them on, this was specifically the Meditate with the Angels. I posted it on a friend's, a group that she's in. And I said, well, have a listen, in case you haven't. And she said, oh my gosh, I just tried your meditation. It was fabulous.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's true. Absolutely. And now I think, Mark, we have something going on over here.
Got a question.
Okay.
All right. This is from Bradford. Hello, Sue. I wanted to ask you a question. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 5 years. He still hasn't told his parents about us or that he's even gay. Should I keep waiting for him to come to grips with himself, or is it time to move on?
So here's just a theory, Bradford. Whenever you have to ask that kind of question, you already know the answer. Yeah. But that's my initial, and I can feel the anxiety in my chest. Thank you very much.
I know, right?
Okay, and I'm going to pull a card, and actually I started shuffling, and this card kind of flew in my lap. And you're going to like this, Bradford.
All right.
The card is joy. It's number 4C, and the word on the card is joy. And this was the card that we did that's playing. I think it's playing this week, isn't it, Mark?
That was the last one you did. That was last week's show.
Okay, so it's playing right now this week at 7 a.m. Eastern on Thrive Talk Network, as well as it's already been posted on YouTube.
Yep.
So you can go out there and listen to it. But what this is telling me is you need to find out what brings you joy. And in this particular situation, is it truly bringing you joy? And if it is, great. If it's not, then you need to find what is going to bring you joy and go and do that.
Wow. Well, I hope, Bradford, that you go and actually listen to last week's meditation with the angels and focus on that. Focus on your joy, like Sue said. And thank you for reaching out.
Yeah. This is a beautiful card too. It's just, yeah, I love these cards.
Don't we all need to tap into our joy?
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know, it's one of those things that we're so, I think, entrapped in just everyday living that we forget that part of living is having joy. It should be one of the main things that we should focus on. It's the joy. There's the joy of being able to breathe, the joy to be able to move, the joy to be able to see, to hear, to touch. You know, we take these simple things for granted. So, Bradford, we wish you the best, whatever it is.
Absolutely, Bradford. And call on your angels. Call on your angels for assistance. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for that question.
And Mark, anything else?
That's it right now.
Okay. Well, we're almost to the end. So, if you want to ask your questions, you certainly are welcome to do so. But like you were saying, so this is something that you were talking about, that you might be cooking something, a little webinar / workbook.
That's one of that's one of them. There's a couple other classes that I've done. One of them I've done it a couple times and I really like it. It was called The Power of Our Words. I can't remember if that was the exact title, but pretty close to that. And all of the things that we can do, again, teaching you tools, empowering you, but all of the things that we can do. And when we pay attention to our words that we use.
Can you say that one more time?
But paying attention to our words.
Yes.
Paying attention. Is there somebody that you have in mind that really needs to hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I won't say his name, but
Thanks, Sue.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm just an innocent bystander.
Yes, because he always frowns when I say, "Oh, what did you just say?" And he's like, "Oh, you know what I mean." I'm like, "Be careful with your words."
Yeah, absolutely.
They have power.
They really do. And even one of the things when we say, "Oh, I love the style of your hair, but,"
Yes,
and it's like, okay, you know what? Stop at the but.
Oh, this is my favorite.
It is what it is.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, he just kills me every time. Like, well, it is what it is. I'm like, no, it's what you make of it.
Okay, so here's something and I just posted a picture of this, I think last week on my Facebook. It's a license plate that I had seen, and this is something that Tammy, that's going to be on next week, she would always tell us in all of the classes, it's all good.
Yes.
And it really is.
Yes. See, that's a good one. It is what it is.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yes. So just change that, Mark, just that little phrase right there, change it to it's all good and see just how things shift for you.
Can I say it with a sarcastic overtone?
Well, it would be best if you said it with a genuine smile.
You know what? I am a work in progress, and I will work on it.
We are
Yay!
all a work in progress because if we
That's
weren't, we'd be dead.
that's right. And we would know everything. We would be in bliss, and everything would be fine. And everything would be all good.
It's all good, is
I love
right.
that. I love that. Yes, I like that because you know what? I do believe that. So that's one of your classes that you used to do, or you still do.
I haven't done it for a while. I did it a couple different times, and I just really enjoyed it. And I've done talks on it, like at fairs. Sometimes I'll do a talk, and I'll pick that one out and use portions of it. So I think that one I'm going to turn into. I'm not sure if it's going to be a webinar or you know, how I'm going to do it, but it's
Right.
going to be something that more people, again, that it can reach more people.
I agree. I think it's so important because I'm a firm believer in that. I do believe that, what you say starts the journey. And,
Yes.
And so, it's so easy, especially because we've been conditioned. Most of us have been conditioned through our families. It's interesting to hear family members, and I'll hear Mark's family members saying it is what it is, and I go, oh, that's how you get it. And it's subtle. He doesn't understand it, and but it's there, and it's ingrained in our way of being. And if we become aware that you're just sending the message out there like you're doing, which is, be careful what you say. Use words that empower you. Use words that are loving and that give you some upliftment that radiates and vibrates your energy. It's what we want to look for. Because it is so easy to say, and it's contagious. For some reason, I think negativity is a lot easier to pick up than positivity. Like for me, I've been working on this for a long time where people always say, oh, you're so positive. But I had to really work at it.
Well, that's because lower vibrations are a lot easier to attain than higher vibrations.
That's right. Good.
Yeah.
That's
Like
absolutely
that.
correct.
I have to earn some points.
Yeah, you just threw out some knowledge out there. But yes, it is a lot easier to pick up. It is true. It's and if I hang out with Mark and his peeps, I will end up saying it is what it is.
Well, now you can say it's all good.
Now I know. Yeah, absolutely. Because it is contagious. So and I love to be around people who are positive because you need that. If you turn on media, social media, whatever, they make their living off bringing fear and negativity. That's how they make their money. So it's an effort. It is work, but I think it's the best work that you can do is to break free from that negativity and focusing on the positive because there is so much out there.
Yeah, there is. And the more that we focus on the positive and the more that we can share that and others can then in turn share it, it will help lift us all.
Yes, yes. And that's why I'm so proud and honored to have you in our network and doing what you do because you do that on a daily basis. And you do it with your books, you do it with the show, you do it with your workshops and your counseling. And again, for anyone that's listening, if you haven't had the opportunity to listen to Sue on Angel Talk with Sue here in Five Talk Network, it's Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is live, 1 hour show. You usually take, what are you planning to do? I know Tammy's going to be on next week's show. Are you planning to take calls or are you going to just have her? What are you planning?
We'll take calls if it's pertaining to the show.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect. And again, give any information that you want to share with everyone as far as if you're doing any workshops or expos anytime soon. Plug away, my friend.
Well, as you have said a couple different times, thank you. My website is Empowerment for You, or you can also type in Sue Broome, Broome, and it'll get you to the same place. I also have my own YouTube channel because I do weekly angel card readings with the virtual psychic fair. So those are posted on my YouTube channel. And if you find me on Facebook, I have a group that I started that I call Angel Talk with Sue. And the reason I did that is so I can share all of my replays from Angel Talk with Sue. I share the prayer of the day from the 365 days of angel prayers. And I do a daily pull of a card that I do on Instagram, that I share on Facebook, that I will also post on there. And then every time there's a new Meditate with the Angels, I also post that on Angel Talk with Sue group on Facebook.
All right. And again, if you don't know who Sue Broome is, you should know. And I thank you again. It was a pleasure and an honor to spend this hour with you and get to know you better. And I'm looking forward to next week's show.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, and it's really different now being on this side.
It is different, isn't it?
It is different, but I was careful, because it's you asking the questions.
Yes, you did much better than I did. I know that. I was like, well, what do you think, Sue? What about this on your show? So you did a great job. I want to thank you, and of course you, the listeners, for staying with us this hour. This is Grayce saying, may you thrive in all ways. Take care.